And our word for today on this memorial of Saint Gregory the Great, Pope and Doctor of the Church, on this Tuesday, September the 3rd, our word for today, scrutinizes. Scrutinizes our word for today, taken from our reading from St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2. Brothers and sisters, the Spirit scrutinizes everything, even the depths of God. Among men, who knows what pertains to the man except the Spirit within him? Similarly, no one knows what pertains to God except the Spirit of God. We have not received the Spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, so that we may understand the things freely given us by God. The Spirit of God lives within us, brothers and sisters. He scrutinizes the things of God. He is God, and He reveals Jesus the Son and God the Father to us, the baptized, those who have Him living within us. He is the Spirit of wisdom. He is the Spirit of life. He is the Spirit of restoration, and He is the Spirit of education. He educates us about the Father and the Son. Why is this task assigned to the Holy Spirit? Because He is, in fact, the love between the Father and the Son. And so He scrutinizes everything about God and then He teaches us about Him. Can you? It's mind blowing to think that that is the stature that we have with God, that we are so important to Him that He lives within us, that we might know all about Him. And it's not the spirit of the world. In fact, the spirit of the world is contradictory to the Spirit of God. And so, how do we know that it's the Spirit of God stirring things up within us? I loved it best from the late, great Father Benedict Rochelle, who said, when you are inspired with a good thought, when you are inspired to do a good thing, when you do a good thing, know that that's from the Spirit of God because the nature of man does not have that in him since the fall. It's only by grace that we have that. It's only by restoration that we have that. It's only because the Spirit of God lives within us and moves us to do these things. So we know that it is the Spirit of God operating within us. The Gospel of Luke, chapter 4 today. Jesus went down to Capernaum, a town of Galilee. He taught them on the Sabbath, and they were astonished at his teaching because he spoke with authority. And then later in that same reading, they were all amazed and said to one another, what is there about his word? What is there about his word? For with authority and power he commands the unclean spirits, and they come out. They were oppressed, they were impressed, they were moved by the authority by which he spoke. And what does it mean to speak with authority? It means to speak with confidence. Jesus could obviously do it. He could do it because he's God. Nothing that he said was incorrect, it was always true. How can we speak with that same authority? When we are speaking with the mind of Christ through the teachings of the church that he himself founded on the Apostle Peter and gave the promise that the gates of hell would not prevail against it. That is where we find our authority. That is where we find our confidence, not an authority of our own, but only when we stand on the teachings of the Lord, only when we stand on the teachings of the church can we find that authority. And then we need to make sure we have no other agenda of our own except the proclamation of the gospel for the restoration of everyone, because the Father desires that all be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. Scrutinizes our word for today.